Right, I wasn't gonna, the way I felt all week after the last ceremony, I wasn't gonna log anymore. But I've got to talk a little bit about ceremony 101 last night because just some interesting things came out of it. But it's the end of the journey after this dieta. Ceremony was pretty good. It fucking pissed it down. It was impossible to hear Maestro singing at one point. It was so loud on the roof. But the main upshot was it was really strong. Came on quite quickly. It was about 2.5 hours, but when it came on, it was immediately strong, like big cleaning. The trees, big cleaning spirits, but their tentacles, the colours were really amazing, and made my heart beat a lot. Sort of like that initial surge of, like the old days, initial surge of sort of discomfort. But with experience, it just is what it is. But even when I opened my eyes, the colours were still there, and I could still see the tentacles in my normal vision, which was unusual. Don't think I've had that before. It was that strong. So the period of cleaning, got pain in my stomach. So I just asked the tree spirits, like, try and find it and pull it out. But I was talking to Maestro about permanent stomach pain in ceremonies, and it's not normal. Not after this amount of time to still get stomach pains all the time. So whether I've got a permanent problem in my stomach, I don't know, or whether it's just not very good at, ayahuasca being in my stomach. That's a mosquito, so I have to get that bastard. I think he's already bitten me, is he? That little fucker. Basically, the upshot, I did speak to Mama, although her and Bovin Sana recently have just not been really particularly friendly, and at some points talking to her, I just wasn't feeling in a good space anyway. And I didn't feel good until after I had my dieta closed, and a good cleaning, and then I felt cleaner. Was talking to Mama Ayahuasca, but at various points I was asking her, saying, I'm not sure. I just don't want to do this anymore because this has been on my mind for a while. And then basically she confirmed it and said, Steve, you've been brought here now for this last dieta so that you understand that shamanism isn't for you and that you can now forget it and put it past you and move on with a life that's more suitable. Or concentrate on a career or whatever job or whatever you're going to do, because I knew this already, which is why I've had such a bad week, because I've been stewing on this for a week. I know, like after the last ceremony, I can't continue this. And just from a purely financial point of view, going through, I'm not prepared to throw away the last sum of money that I've got chasing this idea when there's no future in it, because I just don't. I mean, now, and Maestro Jairo, who's here, and Antonor haven't been invited back to Lighthouse, so they haven't got work at the moment. And I knew it would become a bit of a blow, but Maestro already knew, because he's been talking to Papa Julio, and he was fine with it. We had a really good chat today, and it got it off my chest, and I felt so much lighter, and I felt really good today after a good cleaning last night. Back to just feeling in a nice space with good energies, and Maestro felt good today. But he kind of took it on board, and then, I joked and said, "Oh, I hope you don't hate me," and he said, "No, of course not." He said, and it just spoke about a lot of things, and reiterating that I just can't see a future, and it's going to take years, and I just don't have the money anyway. But I've just lost interest in it. It's too complicated. I'm not getting the response from the plants that I expect. It's too contradictory all the time. And he said, well, it takes a long time to get relationships with the plants like that at the sort of shaman level. I can't continue with it. I've done enough. And Mama also mentioned, she said, you need integration now anyway. She said, so this, so that made me really confirm today, thinking about it this last night and this morning after the ceremony. I had a good think of it. So, it's been bothering me a lot. It's been a really heavy weight this week because it's been a really difficult week, but I had bad energy on board and I was so sensitive to everybody around, and there's just the workers are here and the kids. I mean, I've got this bed to come to at night, but that's all for peace. But today was quite peaceful as it turned out. There was just the family, just Darwin, the baby, his mother, and Maestro's wife and kid. And the kid was pretty good today. They were off. They weren't there in the morning, so it was a nice, peaceful start. I went for a swim, felt really good, did my stretches. What the fuck am I lying on? Oh, fucking bog roll. So, yeah, just confirmation. I felt really relieved that burden of all week's just been lifted. Everything's off my chest. I've got to, I know I can't continue. And now, like Mama said, you just got to, Steve, it brought you here for this level so that you've had the experience of the shaman path and know that it's not for you and you're too old, which I knew years ago. But of course, Maestro, because the thing is, the plants dictate really, and they work in funny ways. And sometimes, Maestro definitely had information from talking to Papa Julio, and they've got a lot of respect for me. They know, Maestro, Papa Julio's always said, really brave guy and all the rest of it, and had a hard life. And I'm tired, and I just, to have the contradiction with the plants as well, I just can't be putting up with it. And when I spoke to Bobin Sana, she appeared, but it wasn't, again, not a very good conversation. She was quite abrupt and just like, yeah, look, we know all that. It's just like, why are you so offy? You're supposed to be the plant of love, and I just can't handle this fucking potential dark side fucking shit. Talk to the dark side of the plants when they're so loving on the nice side and all that kind of stuff. Oh, you're gonna have to be sprayed, you little fuck. So anyway, that's what that was about. Oh, where's the fucking spray now, I suppose? It's going to be a twat video, but no one watches them anyway, so it doesn't matter. So just something to do before trying to get to sleep, because I didn't get up till quite late probably. There's the spray. There's enough in it. What else? Not a lot really. So that was the upshot of it. No, there was, right at the start, I was lying in the hammock and where I lie all day, which has got the net right next to me and the passageway to the kitchen. And in my vision, first of all, these two people appeared quite clear. One was a woman, long dark hair like a native, wearing, I think, a yellow dress, wearing a dress, and a man without, just topless, like short hairdo like an Indio, but he had his back to me all the time. They didn't communicate, but at one point, the woman just felt like just put her arm around behind my back. As if to tell, I was getting a little bit paranoid, thinking, are these fucking witches? Because, they were, Maestro was doing a bit of cleaning, I think, at the time, and blowing and whatnot. And he asked me if I was okay. And after having these things, and even when I was thinking about other things or opened my eyes, and this vision would come back, and they were right there. And they started to bother me a bit, because I really started, because the guy was holding something with his back to me, like, didn't know whether it was a baby or what. And I was thinking, is this some kind of weird fucking powerful witches that are planning something? It seemed like I thought maybe it's one of these fucking time bomb hexes or something that they're laying, and they're just biding their time until there's an appropriate break in the protection when they're going to get in. And I didn't, so I was really kind of thinking, a bit worried about this, what the fuck they were, but I didn't say anything. But then eventually Maestro asked me if I was okay, and I said, Maestro, there's people here. I don't know if they're witches or what. And so he was blowing over me and like outside, but it didn't faze them at all. They just weren't bothered. And then I had my sword, but that felt really weak. I was trying to cut them. It didn't make any difference. It's like they were impervious. And of course, I'm thinking, fuck, are these really strong witches and they're planning something? What the fuck's going on? But later in the ceremony, after I was clean, kind of got the information and realized that they were the tree spirits, and Maestro didn't see them, only I could. And then he said today they were probably because you were on the Dieta up until he did the Icaro to close the Dieta much later on in the ceremony. He said they're probably your what's it called? Mari Maria. Oh, I can't even remember the other name of the fucking tree, for Christ's sake. Kaimatijo. So they were probably spirits, because there was two guys at one point and a woman. And I said to him today, this is what annoys me a bit. I said, I tried to talk to them. Later on, when I realised they were protection, I apologised. I said, I'm sorry that I thought you might have been witches, but they didn't respond or anything. I mentioned that to Maestro. He said, that's when he said, it takes time for you to build relationships with the plants, much further down your path as a shaman, so don't worry about it. Well, but at the time I was just thinking, fuck, this whole spirit world thing, why do they have to be so weird and so offy? Why can't they just communicate? You're on a dieta with them, but they don't want to talk to you, these tree spirits. And these will be the children of the tree rather than the actual main spirit, because Maestro sees them as people and children. But he said, no. I said, oh, well, they're probably Kaimatijo or Mari Maria guarding you, because you were on their Dieta, and that's probably why I could see them. So it's all weird how it works. This is the problem with it. Nothing's ever straightforward or clear or definitive. From ceremony to ceremony, it all changes. What's once said at one point, or how friendly Mama even is, or Bobin Sana, another time they can just be short or offy, or they just have moods themselves. And I was thinking about it when I was swimming. I was thinking, we don't know anything about any of this, really. Maybe, they're life forms. Maybe they have their same problems in life, in these struggles in their own spirit world. And sometimes, maybe they're offy. At one point, there was a really clear point where I felt really like I was in some kind of connected to the whole of the heavens and everything, and just said, does any of it even matter? As if that was a realization for the cosmos, because that's just the way I've been feeling about everything this week and life in general, why it's always such a struggle, and why did it have to be designed this way, and it's just so much suffering in the world. But I'm thinking maybe it's the same for other spirits or other beings in other dimensions. Who knows? We just don't know anything. And then the other interesting thing, Madalen was talking this morning, and then Maestro, they were telling me about it, but 3 days ago, about 6 o'clock in the evening, when it started to get dark, he was out with his machete, and he saw an ovni, but it's a spiritual phenomenon. It was a ball of light, and it was in the water, and it flew I can't quite get the whole conversation. It was either flew past him and then went in the water. It was in the water and came out, or whatever, a small ball of light. And then in his ceremony last night, he was talking to Mama, and he asked her about it. It cropped up somehow, and he asked her about it, and she just said, oh, they're a very advanced spiritual species, sort of traveling or just here. They're 70,000 years old. So that was kind of interesting. But Darlin's obviously very sensitive because it's in the family. This is the other thing about shamanism, you know. Like I said to Maestro today, I said, the jungle's just not a place for gringos. You can't function. Gringos can't function. So the jungle's for natives. It's not for gringos to be. You can't function optimally. Is it? Oh, where's the fucking spray gone? So anyway. Fuck, have I done one? That's there. So anyway, that's just a few highlights of what happened. Oh yeah, and fucking hell. Oh fuck. Oh, it's a fly. Oh, it's a spider. It's like it could fly attached to a web or something. Fuck, everything's around tonight. Fucking ants outside. So anyway, all the workers will be back tomorrow and carry on. We've got loads of planks of wood near here, ready to build the tambo. So anyway, the way I'm feeling at the moment, I'm still debating jacking it in after the end of this week, especially if these fucking ants and everything get worse until we built the tambo. But I'm thinking also, well, I spoke to Maestro. My gut instinct after last night as well is to not do any more trees. So I've been discussing what other plants and trying to. So I mentioned it again tonight. Just asking about. I said I've got just a really strong instinct that I just want to come away with as much health from this as possible. Just to strengthen my body, especially my skin. So he's going to give me pitchurina. Try it on my skin at one point, and then if it's don't react to it, cover my whole skin with it to try and stop what's left of the dryness. Well, I'm feeling really healthy and my skin's much better. And I lost my bar of soap in the water yesterday. Thought that was a major good piss off because there was just loads of things that went wrong, and that was the fucking icing on the cake. But it might have been a blessing because I've only just been swimming and just not having to wash, and my skin coming out of the water hasn't gone dry like it does with the soap. So maybe I'll just stay washing in the river. Just go in the river, that's it. If I'm sweating, just swim and towel down. Get the water off and use that as cleaning. So that might have been a benefit, finding out about soap while my skin's still not strong. So we talked about, he mentioned my brain not working. Dieter effect. Can't even think of the fucking name of it now. Instead of Pinon Colorado, which I've done before, but so he said it's Pinon Blanco as well, so it looks like he's thinking about that. So now I said, oh, is it near here? And he said, yeah. So he said we'll do a dieta and then possibly another plant, Uña de Gato, which I've heard of, and you can mix those two in a dieta. So I'll probably end up doing that tomorrow, unless he has another idea. But that, as it stands, will be the next dieta now. I won't do any more trees because I don't know how to call them anyway without having an Icaro. But Darling did give me an Icaro for an Arcana the other day, which is really short. So I'll send that to Ina. Because she's had an Arcana. It's like Arcananchi Poderoso, Cuerpecito, blah, blah, but I've recorded it on my phone, so I'll listen to that later. And you've got to say it. This is the other thing I was discussing with Dan, and why you have to talk out loud and then blow. It's just part of it, and that's how it works, and strengthen your body, and he does the shiver kind of thing like Maestro does, to strengthen your body, and so you feel the energies come in when you do that. Of course, I've never tried it, speaking out loud in ceremony. Well, only in English, and it doesn't seem to work. I don't feel anything. I was trying last night a bit, but Maestro was talking to Papa Julio and they were laughing, so just probably saying, it's not going to work like that. Laughing at me trying anyway. So that just, at the time, I was just thinking, oh, fuck, I can't be bothered with any of this. I'm not getting taught specifically how to say it by Maestro during the day. And I have asked him 2 or 3 times before for simple Icaros, and he could have given me that Arcana ages ago, but didn't. So I just that was just another negative that affected me. Just that I'm not going to learn anything here the way I should. And I know I'm not been putting any effort in, but he's busy and I could be asking him, but I don't want to distract from him when, sit around write down the words and then get him to explain it all. And I just lost interest in it this week completely. But that's been the reason. Mama just said, right, you've got to focus on your career or whatever, and a life for yourself back in the West. And just thinking of the money, how long it would take before you'd be a functional shaman. And also I think that shamanism is going to hit a downfall from the client's point of view, because with digital money coming in Europe and the way Europe's going, maybe not the Americans so much if Trump builds it back a bit nationally, but Europe's fucked, as is the rest of the West, with Europe taking everyone's money for the fucking Ukraine war as an excuse to strip everyone fucking skint, just acid strip everything. So people aren't going to have the money. And then I got a message from Inna, and she'd said that she prepared for 5 days for a job interview and didn't get it. So she got home feeling like a loser herself and cried for 3 hours. And she's got a master's degree in fucking tech project management, for fuck's sake. She can't even find a job in London at the moment. It's just fucking crazy. So, I've been thinking about Costa Rica and China and go teaching. I'll have to start again at the bottom, get experience, if I can even get a TEFL job again. So I'm in the same situation as I was last year again. But at least I do have some experience. But I just build up. I just got to do that. But it's been sort of such a relief just to think, at least I can get back to Iquitos and then just leave as soon as possible. Pay the overstay before that gets too big. Give Maestro the remains of his money that got messed up. Give him another $300 to pay for this dieta and move on. And then I won't be able to come back into Peru anyway for ages. And unless I have problems, I can't see a reason to come back. God forbid I get more fucking hexes or whatever. I try and keep up the protection and get that nailed before I go, so I can say these protection Icaros to myself every day and just stay protected and not make all the stupid mistakes that I did last year, doing stupid stuff and wasting money, and just try and maximize the money that I have. And I'll just apply for jobs, go back through all my TEFL stuff, maybe look at courses, what else. So just hopefully not fall back into any of this negative apathy thing. But I've really felt really good today and yesterday, just wanting to get involved in stuff and having the energy without having the apathy. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's another fucking... Where's everything getting in? Oh, you fucking prick. Fucking great termite fucking thing. Don't need this shit today. Fucking Tests of the Jungle coming tonight, aren't they? Haven't had all this shit before, now they're fucking coming. Oh, for fuck's sake, fucking prick. Oh, fucking hell. Get the fuck out. Fucking biting the fucking night. fucking Insectville today. For fuck's sake. Ah, so anyway, it's 25 minutes, but it should have been 10 minutes long. So anyway, what am I looking like? Skin's looking good. Well, I mentioned to Maestro why I get diarrhea, and he said that's not normal. I said, when I go back to Iquitos, especially after our last ceremony here to finish the dieta, and then we leave the next day, first food in Iquitos, I had diarrhea for 5 days last time. He said, no, that shouldn't happen. I said, maybe it's, your stomach's so sensitive after all the clean food on a dieta. Although I have diarrhea fucking every day on dietas generally. Every time I go for a crap, it's fucking diarrhea. Cleaning out. So that's why he mentioned Pinon Blanco. It should be good. So maybe you keep getting gastritis or something. This just made me think after ceremony 100 when I just had stomach pain. I had a little bit last night. It wasn't too bad. And I vomited, but that was difficult. I had this pain in my stomach, and I was thinking, I want to vomit this out. And there was nothing to come up at all. I had my fingers down my throat for a while, but eventually something came out, a little bit of ayahuasca, a tiny bit, almost felt like scum. There was so little of it, but it was enough to release that bit of bad energy. And then I felt a bit better after that, and then I got a good cleaning with the closing Icaro. I felt really good today, just in a really nice space. Everybody did. Oh yeah, I was going to say about Maestro's, Jairo's wife. Ooh, this goes to show. She has done ayahuasca before, about 3 years ago, I think she said today. But she was, again, vocalizing it. Just going, and as it went on, and then eventually she tried to vomit, and she was struggling and in a lot of distress. Jairo did nothing. He just let the process go. And then eventually, before she'd really finished, but she kept doing these, and it was really annoying. And I thought, that reminds me of that woman Ma, when she had a witch on board. And in my vision, I got a vision of a witch. So it just goes to show, even the locals can carry shit as well, not just Westerners. I mentioned it to Maestro Antonor today, and I said, well, she had some bad energy. He said, yeah. I didn't tell him at that time. I said, yeah, I saw a witch in my vision inside. But he didn't know Ma, because that was last year with Maestro Ruspel. But her behaviour wasn't as bad as hers, but it was that same kind of talking like fucking nonsense. I thought, that's not right. There's fucking dodgy fucking energy going on there. Something. So, and then the kid woke up next to us and started crying. And I just saw, like, in my visions, I saw like flickers of light come towards his mosquito net, and then run away and stand by one of the uprights, just like these little 2 or 3 lights, as if they were little demons coming to wake the boy up. And then of course he started crying. Jairo had to go out, picked him up, brought him into the ceremony, and then when his missus had stopped vomiting, she was making these she was holding the boy stood up, but still making these noises. It just went on for ages. I was like, thinking, shut up, fuck. So annoying. Anyway, so it was a weird ceremony. But the rain, fuck it, pissed it. Oh yeah, Mama said at one point, before this, it rained a bit, but then it stopped. And then you could hear it coming in the trees in the distance. And Mama said, the So I thought, oh, this is another witch's attack. Mum had just said, get ready, they're coming. Like the witches are coming. As if they'd brought this torrential rain to disrupt the ceremony, because it was so loud. It was unbelievable. I think the strongest rain I've ever heard on that roof. It was super loud. So much that you couldn't even hear. At times you could barely even hear Maestro singing. Just so loud. Incredible. That lasted for about an hour. So it was an interesting ceremony, but generally pretty good. Felt okay through most of it. And good after the cleaning, so I was happy. And then it dropped off really quickly before the ceremony had even ended. It just went from being just quite strong level ayahuasca to just went whew, and then went for probably about another 3/4 of an hour or an hour, and then everyone seemed to had enough, and Maestro just started singing the end of ceremony Icaro, which I joined in a bit, and then walked back here. Just really tired by then. And managed to get to sleep pretty quickly. Half an hour, yeah, I fucking got back here and immediately needed to go for a crap, so I had another diarrhea crap by the tree. And just before getting to sleep, I thought, oh fuck, I've got to go again. And I thought, no, I'm really dehydrated because I left my water behind. But I thought, oh no, that should, I'll suck the moisture back into my body because I'm so dehydrated, because my urine was really yellow. Because I haven't been drinking much, so that I'm not peeing at night. It's a pain in the ass. But so I'd rather put up with a bit of a smell of urine on the net than, well, I'm glad I don't get out the net and pee the distance away. Especially now there's fucking ants are there. Imagine fucking squatting down and not seeing those, because I nearly didn't see them. I came to get in bed this side of me, where they are, it's the normal side. I just did one last scan and then I saw them all where my feet would be, taking my shoes off, and I thought, fuck me, man, the size of the heads on these fucking things. They're like about 5-6 millimeters across, the big ones. I thought, fuck, with these big mandibles sticking out, you wouldn't want to fucking bite off one of them. That would hurt like fuck, I bet. So, but anyway, they seem to dissipate, but the nest seems to be close. Yeah, maybe they just were underneath the leaves before and they've cleared it a bit, I don't know. So I've got on the other side tonight. Just hope we don't get any more fucking creatures in here while I'm asleep. So anyway, that's that. I'm going to listen to that Icaro, my darling's Arcana from Papa Julio.